Well, it's a week after the OHL Trade Deadline. The dust is settled and the Saginaw Spirit into the second half of the year, joined by Spirit General Manager Dave Drinkill. And Dave, just going back, talking about the deadline, for you, compared to all the deadlines past with the way the rules have kind of changed in this last year, how does this deadline compare to some of the other ones that you've dealt with?
Definitely unique. I think everybody in the league was trying to find their way through it. What guys are going to come back, which guys are thinking about leaving our league to go to college. Not really in our situation, but, other players around the league that were moved, or maybe moved a year earlier than normal for the fact that I think they might go to school next year. The other teams had to take that into consideration. So when you were talking to teams, all the different conversations we had, a lot of different factors were at play. But for us, it was more about getting our youth ice time, allowing opportunity for older guys to move on for a chance to win this year. And again, for us to really start building on the future and give guys key roles and key minutes moving forward.
And at what point in the season does that mindset for you kind of crystallize and say, okay, this is what I've got to do going into the trade deadline? Is it from the beginning of the year, or is it in the weeks and months leading up to it? When do you kind of say, all right, this is the path and we're going to commit to this going into the deadline?
Yeah, not at the beginning of the year. I think you have to see what your team has. They're going to let you know a little bit what they think that you should do, by their play on the ice. But for us, it was a very unique one. With Zane and Mike and the unknown with the NHL, if they were going to be sent back or not. And if they were going to be sent back to junior, does that change our mindset? Do we try to add to this group? Do we try to bring in guys to help make another run at it with Mike and Zane on the team? And when I was informed during World Juniors that Zane wasn't coming back, and then a little bit later, about a week later, that Mike wasn't coming back, obviously we had to switch to, let's find homes for guys like Nick and Gervais and give them a chance to go on and have a long playoff run, another chance to win. And, obviously a very tough thing to do, a very tough conversation to have with them. But, they obviously appreciate the opportunity, and they never wanted to leave here. But if they had the chance to go on a playoff run and maybe another chance to win another title, then obviously they were going to accept that trade. And that's what ended up happening. But a different deadline for myself because of the unknown going in with the Zane and Mike thing. And that took a while to sort itself out. So for me as a general manager, I had to kind of work both sides of it. If they did come back, I had some trades lined up if we wanted to add. And if they didn't come back, I had some trades lined up if we wanted to go the other way. And that's ultimately what we did.
Was there any situation to this point in your career where you've had to have kind of that many contingency plans together based on if one guy comes back, if neither of them come back, or if both of them come back? Have you had to have that many plan B, C, Ds in place?
No, not like that. Definitely new to me just because of the caliber of player that Mike and Zane are. If Mike and Zane were sent back to junior, they're the two best players in Canada, the best of their positions. It really changes the dynamic of a team and a group and what you could do moving forward. So never been in that situation before, but ultimately, it's our job to get to the NHL as quick as possible. And they're both playing in the NHL as teenagers, and we've done our job at the end of the day. And as much as everybody wanted them back here in Saginaw to see them play one last time, again, they're living their dream, and we had a hand to get them there as quick as possible. And that's what we should take a lot of pride in doing that for them.
And for the guys that go to North Bay and Ottawa, Sebastian Gervais, Hayden Barch go for 5 picks. Nick Sima goes to Ottawa for 3 picks. Just making those decisions. I mean, you're no stranger to making difficult decisions, but to send guys that have been, massive pieces of a Memorial Cup team here. Just how much thought went into that? What was kind of the process there? And, just how much did those guys mean to you?
Yeah, they meant a ton. They've been here for 4 or 5 years. You spend a lot of time with them, a lot of time at the rink, a lot of time away from the rink. They become sons to you. 2 of my favorite guys of all time. The amount of times that Nick came in my office and sat down, we just talk. In the summertime, we'd call each other once every couple of weeks and just talk. So obviously we can still do that, but you miss seeing them around every day. But for me, if I was going to go down that road, I want to make sure they're going to be put in spots where they're, again, hockey-wise is good for them, but again, off the ice is good for them as well. Gervais and Barch in North Bay, Adam Dennis and John Winstanley Houlihan, they do a phenomenal job up in North Bay. Obviously, we've done a lot of trades with them in the past, and I trust them and what they're going to do for our players off the ice. So I know that they're going to go into a good home where they're going to be taken care of really well. And then on the ice, their team's really good and give a chance to, push in the Eastern Conference. And with Ottawa, they're leading the league at the time of the trade, and Nick's going to go there and play a big role. And they really targeted Nick, and for Nick to go to Ottawa, one of his best friends, Pinelli, played there. He knew a lot about Ottawa. He was excited to go there, to go be in a big city. Obviously very sad to leave here. But to go, a team that probably could win the Eastern Conference is pretty exciting for him. But tough day for us. A lot of hugs, a lot of tears, a lot of talking about, past times, good times. But we have to move forward, and it's part of junior hockey.
And the player that you do come back or that you do bring back at the deadline, Bode Stewart from the Barrie Colts, familiar face, started his career here. How did that come together? And when you said, or when you saw that, okay, you've got an opportunity to bring back somebody that already knows the lay of the land here in Saginaw, how was that something that you had to jump at?
Yeah, so when I did the other deals, they were all for picks, right? I know a lot of fans might look at it and like, all we got is draft picks. But for me, draft picks are, hey, you can use them to improve your own team through the draft, or they're capital for trades, right? People see the trades that have been made. It takes a lot of draft picks to be able to add players when you want to go down that road. And so we got just draft picks back. But when we looked at our group, you know, you look at our third line, we were going to have 3 16-year-olds on it. And the lines will get jumbled around, be it as it may. But I thought we needed to add a veteran in there that can add a little bit of stability, a veteran that we think could be an OA potentially next year. And looking around the league, a lot of guys like that aren't available, but, you know, calling Barrie and, you know, trying to pry him out of there, and they added a little bit. So Bodie's ice time would have dropped a little bit in Barrie, and it seemed to be a natural fit with us knowing him, drafting him. We never wanted to move him in the first place, but we were in a position to, you know, add for the Memorial Cup, and he was going to be the odd man out. And he kind of saw that and asked for a new opportunity at that time. And now to bring him back, he's excited. He's energized to be back. I think he knows our system, knows Laz and I, knows the city. Again, loved everything about being here when he was a 16-year-old. Now he's going to get more of an opportunity. So, bringing him in was more about a veteran player who just played his 200th game, can help our young guys, be a mentor for them, and add a little bit of stability down our lineup.
Well, you mentioned the young guys. You mentioned the 16-year-olds that would have been playing together. You got 11 guys on your roster now that are either 2008 or 2009 birth years. Just how exciting is it to have the guys that are at the very beginning of their OHL development, and so much promising talent kind of up and down the roster here as you build to get back to that Memorial Cup contention?
Yeah, very exciting. They're a very talented group of young men, very, very talented, but they're young. You know, they're going to make mistakes, but to me, the only way you can really learn is through mistakes in this league. They got to be able to feel moments, feel big games like there was on Saturday night here against Windsor. They have to be out there against Green Tree and Villeneuve to understand what it's like to play a 19-year-old that's a very talented NHL drafted player. To go through all the first. So when we want to get back to the top of that mountain, they've had a lot of experience at a young age. So next year they hit the ground running. The year after that, they're 18-year-olds in the league or 19-year-olds in the league. But there's going to be tough nights where they make young player mistakes. And again, that's okay. It's about development. It's about getting the team back to where it needs to be. And you can't just flip a switch next year and be like, oh, they're a year older. Now they're going to be better. Yes, they will be a little bit better. Yes, they will be a little bit older in the league. So they'll have a little bit more natural, you know, build on their body and strength. But again, nothing equates for experience, and they need to play in these minutes and play big roles. And sometimes they may look like they're a little over their head, but that's fine. It's about getting that. So when they get into those situations next year, it's like second nature to them.
And then to lead those guys for the rest of this year and for the next season as well, Dima Zhilkin gets named your 27th captain. Carson Harmer, Igor Barabanov, and Josh Glavin wear the alternate captain's letters for the rest of the season. Just the thought process in giving Dima the C, and you know, what kind of tools does this leadership group bring to the table?
Yeah, right from when we brought Dima in at 16, we kind of knew he'd be a captain in the making, just how he handled himself. He's a pro on and off the ice, takes care of himself. Players look up to him, players follow him. A little bit quieter at the start, but he's starting to come out of his shell a little bit as a leader vocally. Kind of a little bit like Damien Giroux was, but for us, the plan was to always we saw Dima as a captain in waiting. So we moved on a few big voices in the room, like Gervais and Nick were big voices in the room. They're veteran guys, but again, development on the ice and off the ice. When you move out players, it allows guys to take over those roles in the room, you know, lead the guys into the gym, lead the charge off the ice. So it allows guys to have a bigger voice in that room, and Dima's one of them. And we're excited about him, excited to name him captain, and captains can help change a team on and off the ice. And I think you saw it Saturday night. Dima kind of in the third period said, we're not going to lose this game, and took the game over for us. And we ended up winning a big game in front of a big crowd, which was great for our young group. So we're really very excited about him. We know the message from us to the players will get through Dima, and he'll get it through loud and clear. And that's a big part of it.
And Dave, lastly, the remaining portion of the season here, you guys in 8th place right now, right on the edge of the playoff picture. 6th is 3 points away as we sit here and film this right now. You know, we talk a lot about it's a young team and there's a lot of development going on, but postseason is still a very real possibility. And just what's the expectation that are of this group once we get to the end of March?
Yeah, like we're still going in every game and trying to win hockey games at the end of the day. Like, just we're not going to sacrifice the future to try to win a game and look short term. This is going to be a long term thing. Our young guys are very, very talented. We can win a lot of hockey games. We can beat good teams like we just did Saturday night. And our goal is to go out every night and win games. And our youth is going to be played. and our youth is good and talented, like I keep saying. So naturally, yeah, you're going to lose some games against teams that maybe are bigger, stronger, and have loaded up for a big run here, where we went the other way. But it doesn't mean we're going in trying to lose hockey. If we're going in to win, we're going to go in and develop. And it should be an exciting second half. And I think fans should be pumped to watch our players develop. Like, what's Ryan Hanrahan now compared to the end of the year? Sawyer Schmidt now, Geldhart, how he's played for us. That's just to name a few. Drew Roscoe is back in the lineup. His minutes are going to go up. So very, very good, fun group to watch develop here moving forward.
Dave, thanks always for the time. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.